We have a significant coastal storm on our hands, folks, and yes, throughout the week we were telling you it's deja vu, it's happening again. It's almost the exact same timing, Sunday night into Monday, but there are differences this time, and the other one came in and out like a flash, and it was gone, and it didn't stick around long enough to really have significant impacts on our area. So I don't want you to take this one maybe lightly now, thinking that we're going to probably get through this unscathed. This is a longer duration storm system, so it is important, again, to prepare and not take it lightly. This is very likely, in my opinion, going to be significantly worse than the other storm, just because, again, the sheer duration of it. But it does look like a stronger storm additionally. So combine those two things, you can imagine that we'll very likely not just brush through this one. So let's break this all down. A lot of information to get through. First and foremost, the rain obviously falling. It's kind of hard to ignore with that background, but that's going to continue overnight. There will be heavy pockets of rain in there. We're expecting, even from the inch or so that fell today, an additional 1 to 2 inches, maybe even locally higher spots than that. We really have seen some pretty juiced up amounts with this storm system coming through. And that's just, again, on the surface. We've, of course, got the coastal flood risk, minor to moderate for the South Shore. It's not 1 to 2 inches, that's 1 to 2 feet above astronomical high tides Monday morning, which will be about 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. I'll show you more on that in a second. And then, of course, the very high winds, the high wind warning for our entire viewing area now, with some gusts that could exceed 60 miles per hour. That's causing for very rough waters, 4 to 6 feet on the Narragansett. That is something, even when we had some, good surf action over the summer, you get 4 to 6 at the ocean beaches. That would be a big day. We're talking 4 to 6 on the Narragansett. Look at the open waters, 9 to 14 feet. So that's your storm warning. Again, South County has that minor to moderate coastal flood risk. It's a coastal flood warning there. Southern Bristol, it's an advisory, likely lesser so, but places like the Narragansett, Fox Point, you're going to see likely some extra water in the streets. If you have a basement that floods, this is very likely going to happen with this storm. There's your high wind warning again. An entire area has been upgraded to this, 50 to 60 plus gusts. So you're thinking maybe this is just going to be a coastal event. It is unfortunately gone really downhill over the last couple of days, and it's looking like we're all going to be taking advantage of what this storm has to offer, not in a good way. So let's take a look at the wind gusts. And yeah, as we start seeing those heavier pockets come through, that means the storm is getting closer. You're still talking, 25 to 40 miles per hour by early tomorrow morning. Watch how these numbers start to balloon into the 50s by the time we get to, say, mid-morning. By midday, we're looking at 50, 60. Check this out. Newport, 70 mile per hour gusts. Again, this is just a model, but just to see those numbers showing up essentially on the doorstep of this storm is certainly very concerning in my view. The numbers will start to go down then as we head afternoon. Could still be hanging on to those really, really high gusts at the Cape and for our islands, but for the inland locations, they're going to start being a little bit more manageable, 20 to 40 miles per hour, and eventually when the rain starts to exit, those winds, while still breezy into the evening, will start to go down as well. So we're looking again for a general 1 to 2 plus inches on top of what has already fallen. And the river flooding, it's not an issue right now, but remember it was with the last storm. Those rivers are likely going to get very swollen with all this water. And I do think especially for some of our rivers, the Pawtuxet comes to mind, that's going to be probably flooding again, and we'll have to watch for some low-lying areas that could maybe see evacuation. So rain, wind, all increasing tonight. The good news here, Alyssa, the only good news, is that we can quiet down and have a much, much more simple forecast going forward here for the upcoming week. Lots of sunshine, seasonably chilly temperatures, generally in the low to mid 40s. So a little respite once we got through this storm, and of course we'll be keeping you posted right on through the morning shift tomorrow.